Hello, Taffins. It's an amazing new year. We've kickstarted the year really, really superb with so much amazing profits rolling in from sport and also rolling in for future. Now, like we said, this is the year that we have a lot of stability and a lot of profitability. This is the year where your profits goes to a totally different level. And you also have the rest, which Tafabot brings, where you could relax, spend time with your family, take that vacation, and at the same time, be making a whole lot of money. So in this section, I and Dr. Ovo. Dr. Ovo, how are you doing?
So good. I'm so excited for the year and for our leaders all over the world. This is the year we're coming to you in different regions where you are doing the amazing things that you are doing. Tafabot is going to be working it with you throughout this year. It's so exciting to be on this call and to share all the amazing things that we have put in plan for the bull run coming.
Amazing, amazing. It's going to be really, really exciting. So we're going to be looking through our plan for the bull market, what is our plan and how you can set that up and start taking advantage of it right away. So, Doctor, the bull season has always been really, really amazing. Really, it's like one of the super greatest transfer of wealth that happens periodically. We've seen that in different seasons, 2017, partly to 13 to 14, also to 10, and several other different time. It is one time that if you are in crypto, you need to be super prepared and you're going to make as much money as you want. We've experienced a lot of bull markets, Doctor. I remember holding BTC at $250 during the first bull that I witnessed, and the price went 1,000. It was like, wow, Bitcoin at 1,000. We couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe it then. It was literally so amazing. And we've moved through those bull markets through even 2017 when we saw the 18K Bitcoin. It was like, what is this? And also the past year that we moved into the 60K zone. So we've always seen the season, which is always a great transfer of wealth. And at the same time, a lot of person after that season, Doctor, always gets wrecked. So part of the things we're doing as Tafabot team is saying, how do we prepare to maximize it based on the profit and at the same time have that security that when that season does go out, we don't have any user wrecked in Tafabot. So I would like you to show me, like, what do you think about that? And what are always your view as relate to the bull market? Because you personally, Doctor, you've always talked about how we need to take advantage of it because we've seen in bull market whereby you could hold a token for even $100 and it becomes $10,000. Really, you've experienced
That's
a lot
something
of that.
I think just for the benefit of the users who don't understand the terminologies that we are using, all right?
Yeah.
So the bull market, there are basically two trends in any market. There's a season where the market is going up, and then there's a season where the market is going down, all right? So when the market is doing so well and it's going up, appreciating in value, we call it a bull season, all right? So it's different from a bull run, all right? So it's a bull season. You just can't just say that the market is just going up. There's also a bearish season where the bull, talking about the bull as an animal, and then the bear, talking about the bear as an animal. So when you see the bear sign, you're talking about a market that is depreciating in value and all of that. So but now the bull run is now where the market is not just going up, but is going up in a very crazy way. All right, where you see a token go from $1 as a market value and goes up to, let's say, $140, from $1 to $140. So that is even immodest. All right, because there are those that go from 0.000000001 and get to $1. That is
Yeah.
doing more than 10,000 percentage in a pump, right? So that is what we refer to as a bullish or a bearish market, and that's what we refer to as a bull run. Now, in crypto particularly, this bull run happens around a particular major event. It happens around the Bitcoin halving. All right. So the Bitcoin halving is something that happens once every 4 years, where the quantity of reward that comes from mining Bitcoin is reduced. So it's going to continue to reduce until there is no more reward for actually mining Bitcoin. All right. So the total circulating supply of Bitcoin right now has not reached the maximum limit. So from now till almost the year 2100 and something, like Bitcoin will continue to be rewarded for the mining activities of those who are actually processing those mining. But for every 4 years, according to what Satoshi coded in his system, the idea is to continue to reduce the supply of the Bitcoin while the demand continues to come up, so that there's actually a premises for an increase in the value increase is following the popular concept of demand and supply.
Yeah.
So as Bitcoin is getting popularity, the volume that is available for the community is reducing. So more people are going for it, less quantities available. So you're looking at the value appreciating. So every time Bitcoin has halved, being that Bitcoin is the major coin in the entire crypto space, it always results in the rallying up of every other cryptocurrency in the market. Now, but what we've observed over the years is around that time of the Bitcoin halving, certain other activities ride on it, right? So it may just be DeFi, decentralized finance, will ride on the wave of the Bitcoin halving. It may just be meme tokens like the shitcoin trend that happened the last time. We'll just ride on the wave of the Bitcoin halving. Right now, we're looking at layer 3, Web3 is the main thing that is just taking the interest right now. It's also going to ride on the wave of the Bitcoin halving. So every other coin will do so well, but projects that are around the wave of the time, like right now, anything on Web3, artificial intelligence, and all of that, they're going to do so well. If you remember, the last time where there was a major event in crypto, when FTX had the issue, all right, you saw that the decentralized exchanges that had tokens, so things like Cake that had the pancake swap, so those tokens from decentralized exchanges just began to go up the roof, all right? Went over the roof. So while other markets were doing so bad, anything that is along the trend of the time, you'll be seeing it doing 4,000%, while every other thing is crashing 40%, 50%, they're on under pedestal of profit. So this is what the bull run is all about. And this time around, we're looking at the 2024 Bitcoin halving. We're looking at projects around the layer 3, the Web3, AI, anything around that space. Or perhaps any other team would never know that is also going to show
There's
up.
always going to be a lot that will pop up. That will just like you said, there was the DeFi. 2017 was the ICO wave. It was a crazy move everywhere. Then came the meme coin wave. So there's always going to be something, and it is for us to always look out for those, like you've talked about, Doctor, and jump into them. And there's a lot of reasons, where this particular bull market is even going to be much more unique. Like you talked about the halving. We are also looking at the sports ETF approval. That is going to be the roof, and so many other major events that are lined up for this year for crypto. So it's exciting, and for us in Tafabot, we want to see how we're positioning ourselves and our users to maximize this particular time, that this is going to be the year where you make as much money than you've ever made in your entire crypto life. So we're going to look through those phases on how we are creating this distribution during the bull market, and how you can set it up right after this call on your Tafabot app. So our bull strategy, we called it the 50-25-25 bull strategy, which simply implies that how you're going to be distributing your trade capital into different systems that we've created for the bull market as we're about to venture into that. So we're going to look through each and every one of them one by one, talk about what are the uniqueness when you're to use that, when you're to set it up, what are the benefits, what are the cons also for each and every one of them, and how you can get started right after this video. So
amazing. Okay, yes, sorry for cutting in. Yeah, and that stuff too is one of the things, like, I want you guys to just write this down. Today is the 9th of January, and I don't know what time it is in your own time zone when you're watching this, but you're going to count me as a prophet not so long from now. Okay.
Prophet Satoshi.
I'm Prophet Nakamoto Satoshi right now. Okay, so you're going to expect that this is the year you are going to see projects around bots to be releasing coins. You're going to see a lot of coins released in decentralized exchange. They're going to be faceless, no identity, no name. They're just going to be released. They say that is this a particular bot that trades, and they've released the coin. So there's going to be another craze around bots in this season, and many bots are going to also release a lot of coins and do a lot of things in the market. So it's something to look out for, to expect. But the beautiful thing about what we're about to share with you is for you to see how to keep yourself from a lot of this funny stuff. Because if you watch, there was a documentary recently on Netflix on Bitcoin. All right, you may want to watch it if you have access to Netflix. You see how some funny folks can just do anything, and just because it's a season of crypto, get people to invest so much, put a lot of money into it. You don't want to fall into that. So, I want to stay to the our bull run strategy here on Tafabot that has capital distribution of 50, 25, 25. By the time you stay to the end of this video, you're going to be learning a lot of things on how to prepare yourself, put yourself into the market right now, not later, right now. Position yourself not just to enter into the market for the bull run, but to also exit unscathed. Like you don't have yourself burned. Because the funny stuff is, this is how it happens, Sam. The market begins to move. My son is like, oh, don't believe this crypto stuff, all right? Don't believe this crypto stuff. The next day, his friend is buying a Lambo. He's like, wow, how did they say it's crypto? He said, I'm still skeptical. The next day, the guy is flying jets all over the place. He's like, how is it this? Before you know it, the coin is going up, is going up, is going up. And then the guy is like, okay, let me jump in.
This is the time.
He jumps, and then the market, that's the exit point, and then he's going in at that point. I know people who bought Bitcoin at $65,000, and I was telling them when it was around 16, 15, 20, buy. They say, nothing like that. No, this thing is not serious. It went to 30. Wow. It went to 40. Wow. It went to 60. They're like, okay, I think I believe in this thing right now. And then they jumped in, and that was it. So a particular guy who had in his wallet $2 million, he showed me, he said, Dr. Vo, see my wallet. I looked at it, was $32,000. I said, so
And
you don't want
that's
to
crazy.
you don't want to fall victim to that. So you want to stay to the end of this video, and let's show you how to get in and how to get out in the plural.
Perfect. Totally amazing. So you don't want to get wrecked as much as you're going to make a lot of profit. You don't want to get wrecked. This is why you want to stick to all the system that we're going to be laying out right away. So the 50, 25, 25 is a pretty amazing concept that is going to help you throughout the bull market. And even when the bull market does finish. So your 50% is going to be put into spot neuronet bot. So I'm going to talk about why, what are the improvements, what makes it so unique, and why you want to do that. Your next 25% of your capital is going to be put into futures neuronet, and then the other 25% of your capital is going to be put into World Builder. Now you're surprised why I mentioned World Builder. We're going to talk about what is the super improvement that has also been done to World Builder on the new Tafabot app that you can download right after this video. So first, let's start with spot neuronet. Doctor, in the bull run, there is nothing as powerful as holding coins. When you are doing an active trade, most times your bot could trail and take a profit of 1%, 2%, and maybe you could even hit a stop loss out of it if this market goes down. But the unique thing about spot and on neuronet is that it's not just jumping into the market, correct? It's not just saying that I need to make this trade and then just goes in. It's going to analyze to make sure that you are actually going to the market at the right point in time. And with that, it doesn't require to have a stop loss in it, and you don't have any liquidation worry. Now, this is very, very powerful, by which if it gets into the market, distribute your capital among, it could be trading 20 or 10 market for you at the same time. Holding those coins, which neuronet is going to do for you, ensures that you have the maximum gain from those markets. In that a market could double, like Doctor talked about, 5,000% overnight, as against you just taking a profit of 1% or 2% or 3%. So we're going to look through how to set it up with Dr. Ovo and how you can create that spot neuronet right away.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen just shortly and take us through how that is done. You know, Sam, like you said, the best thing that will happen to anyone in the bull run is to be in the right market once the 10 starts. But, you know, So the bull run doesn't tell you I'm here, or it doesn't tell you I'm about to get started. It just starts.
Yeah.
All right. And sometimes it could start gradually, and then you're like, okay. Other times you could just sleep and wake up the next morning and it has moved. All right. So it doesn't make any announcement that okay, this is it. Because one small activity on the internet, it could just be a tweet by Elon Musk could say that this is it. This could just be the beginning of it. It could also just be that you just hear that Apple has adopted Bitcoin as a means of payment for iPhone 15. All right.
Yeah.
Just one small thing is the beginning of the bull run. And it could just happen overnight. So at other time, it could just be Kim Kardashian coming and post and be like, I just bought 10 Bitcoin. Let me see how it goes. Just anything could just start the bull run. So what you want to do is to be ready for that. So what I'm going to show you right now is how to set up your neuronet on the spot market for maximum utilization of the bull run. So if you click on the plus button on the middle of your screen at the bottom part, you click on the create bot, then you select neuronet. That's the second to the last option. Okay. And then you click get started. Okay. Now I am trading with 20,000 bucks. So, and I want to follow the capital distribution of 50, 25, 25. Basically, it's actually 50-50. I'm putting 50% in the spots and I'm putting 50% in futures. But in the 50% I'm putting on futures, I'm executing two different strategies. I'm using the neuronet strategy for futures for 25% of my capital, and then I'm using 25% of the other 50% on the web builder strategy. Both of them trade using different trading strategies that is very, very amazing on their own rights. So what you want to do is to see how they play out. One will always perform better based on the market situation at the time. The other will always perform better based on the market situation at the time. But what you're sure of is that it has maximum drawdown, and then it has a very amazing risk system set up, and then the profit is out of this place. Okay. So, but first of all, I'm putting 10,000 bucks, all right, of my capital into this. So I'm doing auto compounding. So if you see auto compounding, I'm selecting that I'm using it. So what auto compounding simply means is if you are trading with 10,000 bucks and I made a profit of $1,000, let's say in 3 or 4 or 5 days, what my bot does is that for every profit it makes, it factors that profit as a new addition to my capital. So I'm no longer trading with $10,000. I'm now trading with $11,000. When my capital goes to $11,300, my new trading capital is no longer 11,000, it's now 11,300. So it just continues to compound so that my profit is maximized. So if I calculate in 6 months or 182 days, I'm going to be having 511% return, all things being equal, following the compounding strategy. So I'm going to be having from 10,000, I'll be having $61,163.18. All right. So
Beautiful
this is just
results.
to give you that beautiful result. It's just going to give you a picture of what to expect. It could be more, it could be less, but it cannot be far less from this, but it could be much, much more than this. All right. So I'll go ahead and remember, I'm going for the spot. All right. We are putting 50% of your capital. So if you're trading with $1,000, good and fine, you could put $500 into this one. Okay. Then if you are trading with $50,000, you want to put 25,000. Just distribute your capital using the strategy that we're telling you right now because it's been tested, it's been proven. We've run it on the algorithm several months on different market scenarios, and we know why we're asking you to do this. So I'm selecting the spot market, and now because I'm on the spot market, I'm not trading Bitcoin only, though it is recommended on Euronet, but I'm on the spot market. I want to be able to find markets wherever it is that they are at any point in time. So I'm going to select all assets, right? So, and then Binance is where I have my stuff. So I look at everything and I'm sure it is in place. Then I go ahead and then I'll create my bot. So the beautiful thing about this new spot neural net is we've made a lot of improvements, and Sam is going to tell us about that shortly. So now that you have it set up, you just go ahead and turn on your bot and you're good to go. So Sam, tell us about
That's
this.
super easy. And just like Doctor just showed, part of the beautiful things about the spot neuronet is you don't get to select the market like you've always seen, and it doesn't have the drawdown of maybe a stop loss or any of those, because it has super unique algorithm to detect market movement, both on momentum trading and also on a lot of price action and technicals to know when to get into the market. So what you're going to see when you select that is it's going to be scanning the market generally for you. It's going to find when there's a point to long, to buy so, or when there's a point to buy dodge, or when there's a point to buy even the markets that you don't know. It buys that market, holds for you, and take profit. Now, we're not even fully in the bull market. If you go to Tafabot or you've been checking the app throughout this week, you're going to see that our sports guys are doing between 1 to 10% every single day. Yesterday, we saw some users with even 20% of profit on spot, and this is not the bull market yet. We are not yet fully into the bull run yet. So you want to set that up. It is totally and absolutely unique on how it's going to manage your trade, and you don't have any risks of burning your account. What could go wrong if you get into a market and that market goes down? Now, that is going to be a unique scenario whereby the algorithm didn't go as planned. Like we've seen, we have over 80 to 90% win rate. So let's say there's a 10% chance where you get into the market and then that market doesn't go as planned. Now, what it's just going to do for you is to hold that particular market. Now, what you notice is it's not putting all your capital into one market. So there could be 10 different markets or 20 different markets. So when it holds a particular coin, there could be another coin performing at that time. And the one it's holding is also going to perform later. So you have no risk of burning your account at all. You have no risk of a stop loss. It's just going to be profit and profit. And like you know, you never get charged the gas fee until full and actual profit. So those are several amazing unique factors as it relates to the spot neuronet, and why you want to put 50% of your capital in there, why we are going to move into futures with Dr. Ovo right now on the other 50%. So this your 50% is your safety pot. The other 50% also has that safety pot, but you are able to play around much more on the risk level if you want to make $1 million in a day. So Doctor, let's jump into our next 25%.
All right, excellent. So I'm gonna share my screen right away. So give me a sec. All right, so there you have it. So I'm here again on my Tafabot app. Then I'll create my bot again. And then I am going for my neuronet again. It's the second to the last option on the screen. And I'll click on get started. And recall, I'm trading with 20K, okay? So my distribution of my capital is 50, 25, 25. So this is the first part of my futures trade. So I'm going to be trading with $5,000 over here. And recall, compounding, okay? I've already discussed what total compounding is. So if I calculate it, this is what I'm looking at on the minimum. All right, it could be a little below this, but it could be way far above this. Then I go ahead and I click on the arrow button, and I'm going for futures, okay? So I go for futures, I accept the risk, okay? And then on this futures neuronet, you are trading BTC only. Let me repeat that. You are trading BTC only, and we're going to tell you why that's important, okay? So we'll go to Bitcoin, and this is the reason, all right? The reason why you want to put a very large amount of capital on Bitcoin and then leverage it is because Bitcoin is a very massive project. It's a vision of the industry. So it is really easily manipulated, and you have at least capacity to flex around your risk level. You could decide to do 10x, 20x, 30x, whatever it is you want to do. And you know that the market chances of it going massively against you is slim. Okay. Now on the average, when you're going on the 1x leverage, your maximum drawdown is 2% in a day. So when your trade, should the market go against you, remember we said that our win rate is around 80 to 90%. So within that 10 to 20% range where there's an error margin, if the market happens to go in that range and then it's going against you, the maximum drawdown you could have is a 2%, and your bot exits the trade. However, if you now decide to leverage, so your leverage now begins to multiply your risk level. So, but recall, if 8 out of 10 times I'm making profits, then 2 out of those 10 times will not give me a very bad outcome. So what we do here, what I recommend for you to do is to do a 10x. All right. So you could just do a 10x here, and then you go ahead. So what this means is, recall I was trading with $5,000. By trading with 10x, I'm not trading with $50,000. Okay. So I go ahead and select my exchange, and I look through everything and it's in good shape. And then I create my bot. All right. Remember, it's also in auto compounding. Okay. So now once my bot is done created, I'll just go ahead and also turn it on. So this is it about the the futures neuronet. And we've done a lot of changes on the background. And I'd like Sam to talk to us about it, because this is the place where we have done most of our research between July last year to December, for which that throughout December and till January, we've not had anybody have to say a concern of liquidation or anything like that. So people have been consistently making around 0.5 to 1% to 2% daily. That 0.5% on a 10x is 5%. That 1% on a 10x is 10%. That 2% on a 10x is actually 20%.
That's your beautiful kid right on your wallpaper.
Yes.
Amazing. Beautiful.
So,
Look,
yeah.
you want to picture this, that in the last 1 week, for instance, on futures neuronet, we've had consistently every day 1% of profits every single day minimum. We've moved 1%.
Yeah.
Some days has been 3%, like yesterday. Some days has been 5%. Now, this is without this improvements on the current app that you're going to be downloading after this call. Now, with this improvement, each of those 1 week, we never had a stop loss. So what it means is every day, if you're taking those trades with this current system whereby you're able to flex your risk muscle even up to 10s or 20s, if you're doing 10s, those 1% every day, like Dr. explained, is going to become 10%. At the end of the week, you would have made 70% of your actual capital. Now, on those days whereby it is 3%, is going to imply 30% of profit. In less than a week, you would have done over 100% profit. Now, if one trade then goes bad, which is a 2% drawdown, and you're on a 10%, is going to result to a 20% maximum drawdown. Now, when that happens, it is not something to fret about, because your next trade is going to be recovering that, and the next trade and the next trade. So you want to look at the big picture. Now, for some time, you might never have those drawdown like we've seen in the last 1 week, whereby everything is just super, super good. All trade hitting profits, hitting the target. And in 1 week, you've doubled your capital. So even if the next week we have the 10% that finally goes bad, you're still way, way over profit. So what this has ensured is your spot is printing for you a long-term stable income that you're seeing, and your futures is giving you your massive dose of profit at the same time. Now, one of the things we've ensured in 2024 is there will never be a bond or liquidated account on Tafabot. It's something that we've ensured that the maximum drawdown that will happen to your account in 24 hours is going to be a 2%. There will never be a time whereby your account is left. It doesn't matter if there are technical glitch on our side. These are preset even before a trade starts to ensure that that never happens. So we want you this year to trade with so much peace of mind that you're going to be spending time with your family, like Dr. Ovo, amazing kid that we just saw on the screen. You're going to be going on vacation, yeah, and you open your Tafabot account to say, okay, I just made $10,000 today. Absolutely beautiful.
Sam,
yes, doctor.
The beautiful thing about this is we've been looking at how to effectively ensure that when we charge our users for fuel, it's actually because they've made profits. All right. So, and basically some things are just in theory, they make sense. You just feel like, okay, you could just do it. But it took us a lot of research developing
Yeah.
until we're able to like just figure a way around how to get that to be done. So that on at the end of the day, when you are in a trade and you've done a particular trade, and then maybe you have some trade that have not yet closed in profits, Tafabot is going to wait until everything is concluded to study what is the actual profit that you have made before we charge you your fuel. And it's so amazing. So we're not just bringing trade to the level that just gives you peace of mind. We're bringing you trade to a level where you are confident in the company
Yeah.
that is backing you to provide you the service that you are enjoying. And it's for me, it's so exciting. Even just as as a fellow Tafabot user, all right, because we're not when we address our community, we don't just say Tafans, we say fellow
Yeah.
Tafans, all right, because this this is what we do. This is where we trade. This is what. So it makes that we have a hands-on approach on our experience on the platform, and it's one of the things that distinguishes us from the entire bot industry out there.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people who don't even know how the bot works. They just come on Fiverr or any of these platforms, meet a programmer and say, "Build me a bot." And the programmer who is building them a bot is maybe just a full stack engineer who just codes something. He's not even a trader himself. So he
Yeah.
just develops something that buys and sells. All right, which is what you're going to be seeing in this bull run. You're going to be seeing a lot of bots in the industry that will be doing buy and sell. And because majorly the market is going to be going up, it will be appearing as though they're cool
Yeah.
until the market that I'm done. You now see people who get wrecked so much. So, but let's come out of that place. I think let's talk
Amazing.
about the web builder, right?
Yes, totally. So, Doctor, now that you've mentioned it, this is also a formal announcement that if you are trading with neuronet spots, it has spot futures, and if you're trading on Wealth Builder futures, so this is something new. It now applies on the gas system that we just explained, whereby you are not longer charged gas just because you make profit. You're charged gas on your actual profit, minusing any stop loss or whatsoever that you have. This now applies also on the Wealth Builder strategy. This is one function that I was so excited about. Like Doctor said, we are co-users of Tafabot. I was so excited about it that my trade doesn't get to charge me gas anymore until my profit and loss are totally settled because I'm using Tafabot with a very, very large capital because it makes me a lot of money also. So I was really, really excited that we're implementing this and this is now available on Wealth Builder. So Doctor, we're going to jump into Wealth Builder as our third bull market strategy.
All right, guys. So here is your world builder. The beautiful thing we have done is to have a strategy for everyone and also for anything it is that you want to do. So if you look at um your neuronet spot, your neuronet spot doesn't give you the opportunity to choose this is the market I want to trade.
Yeah.
The bot makes that decision for you. Your neuronet futures limits your options by our recommendation where we say trade Bitcoin only. But how about there is something you have in mind? There's a particular coin you are interested in following. And that is where the word builder strategy comes in because you are able to select this is the coin I want to trade. However, you are taking advantage of the Tafabot web builder intelligence to run on that market. So I want to show you that quickly. So you click here and then you click on create your bot, you select, and web builder is the second option in the drawdown. I'll select it, web builder bot, and then I'll go ahead and click on get started. And I am going for futures. Okay. So, and I'll accept the risk. Now, I want to trade any coin it is that I'm interested in. What kind of coins do we recommend? We recommend your coin. What coin do you want? It's your choice. All right. So the bot now does the stuff for you. So let me select. I'm interested in Solana, and I'll tell you my own reason. Solana is very volatile right now. but it is also not a shit coin. It's well distributed among a community. So not one individual owns more than 5% of Solana. So we can't have one person who just comes to shake the market to do anything. Not as though if someone shakes the market, it will shake me off. I have my security, I have what do you call it? The Tafabot has the risk measures put in place to protect against that. Or if the person shakes it and it goes in my favor, I also make a lot of money. All right. But generally, this is the reason I'm selecting Solana. It's very volatile, but it's volatile within what you can say is reasonable. Okay. So there are other things like BNB, Ethereum, or anything at all it is that you've been following, Bake, Cake, all of that. So I'll select Solana right now. And then do I want to long it or do I want to short it? Good and fine. If you choose that you want to long it, for instance, and I select that I want to do that on Binance, there is now an option just before the submit button here. There is create both ways is what we recommend. So I'm going to take just a couple of seconds to explain that. So what we mean here is even though I selected long, I'm telling the bot study both long and short. All right. If my choice to long is not appropriate and the market is actually shorting, for those who understand the terminology, longing means that the market is going up, all right, in price, and shorting means that the market is going down in price and you're following it down. So provided it's going down, you're making money. So if I long it, but the market chooses to go down, my bot will immediately execute a short for me. Take note. It doesn't say that the moment you start the bot, it's going to open long and short at the same time. That's not what we say. What we say that by creating both ways, it's going to study the market and be like, is it the right time to long? Yes, long. Is it the right time to long? No. Is the right time to short? So even though I selected long, it will not long, it will short. So as it's shorting and it's making profit, at any point in time that long becomes the next thing to do, and it has taken a profit in the short, it will open the long. So at every point in time, you have your bots making decisions on the up and down on that same market. Dr. Ovo, I don't want this. I just want to long. I have my reason. I've studied the market. I want to stay on long. Good and fine. What you simply have to do is click on these both ways I will recommend it and say, I want one way. So when you do that, it will just follow the initial instruction you gave, which was a long or a short. All right. But I'm still going with my both ways. Okay. So recall, this is why at each page, you are given option to review to be sure that you are doing what you intended to do. Trading with a 20,000 bucks, okay? So I put 10,000 on my spot neuronet. I put 5,000 on my features neuronet, and then I'm putting under 5,000 here. So this is my 50, 25, 25 capital distribution, which is our bull run strategy on Tafabot for this time. So remember, my leverage is 10, which literally means I'm trading with $50,000. What's my strategy period? My strategy period, I want to do 50. So what is strategy period? Strategy period is how many times do you want this trade to take profit for you? So when it takes a profit the first time, that's strategy period 1. If it takes a profit the second time, that's strategy period 2 until it does that completely. All right, so that's just a very basic way to understand it. So I'll go ahead and submit. So I have this, I look at it and I confirm that it's still okay. This is what I want. And then I'll go ahead and create my bot. So now that my bot is created, I'll simply turn it on at the end and I'm trading Solana. So if at any point in time, I feel I want to switch from Solana to another coin, all I simply have to do is to edit the bot, select Solana, and move to, let's say, BNB. Okay, so the moment I update this, the last trade that is already running on Solana, once it closes, it will not open a new Solana trade. It will then start running a BNB trade. So you don't have to create multiple web builder strategy, this, that. If you're following our recommendation of 50, 25, 25, this is what you have to do throughout the bull run, or even throughout the rest of your using Tafabot, and you're going to enjoy your experience. So I just right now, I'll turn on my bot and I hope to share with you the profits in our next meeting. Thank you.
You know, this morning, my wealth builder took a profit on long on Solana and also took a profit on short of Solana. So I just saw in selected Solana. I'm like, yeah, that's a good choice. Amazing. Now, one thing our users need to also know, like you pointed out in the both ways, is when you create the both way strategy, it doesn't mean that one bot is going to trade both. So what it does is create two bots for you. So you don't need to go back to create the other bots again. So one thing to note about, like Dr. showed, when you select the both ways, it doesn't mean that the bot is going to create an hedge for you or one bot that trades both long and short. What it does is to create two bots for you. So you can go back and decide, I want to start both the long bot and the short bot together. And this doesn't mean, like Dr. explained, that it's just going to start long in the market or short in the market. We've made a lot of improvements on Wealth Builders that is going to study the market to get in. And also we've made an adjustment on how it does the averaging. And like we also said, it doesn't charge you gas anymore. Now, there were two major troubles with Wealth Builders if you are using it that you must have noticed. Number one is if you select, let's say, long, and it starts longing the market, it's going to keep longing even when the market gets to a zone that may not be suitable for long. So we've adjusted that to include some of part of the neuronet algorithm into it to determine, is this the good time to long? So if I'll just show you that on what that looks like in the chart, for example, if you can see my screen, you see that this is the Bitcoin chart on 1 hour, for example. And let's say you set a long bot and it starts here and it starts longing. Your trade is going to be going good on World Builder, going good onto here. So it takes a profit here and triggers another long, for example. Now, this is what normally happens on World Builders, and the price starts fluctuating or going down, and you have to have averaging. Now, there's no telling how far this price might go. So even if you have all your averaging up to 10% movement, this price could be going 40%, right? And you're not able to cover up for that movement. Now, the improvement that we've done is when you set up a bot and say long on World Builder, it's going to analyze this market and say, okay, is this a point that is suitable for long? If this is a point, it's going to start longing the market. And then if you get here, say, is this a point suitable for long? It is not a point. You're not going to have any new trade open. Now, at that point, if you have a bot on short, that short could now be opening trade and say, okay, this is the point to short and all that. Now, on the averaging, your averaging will only be required if the chart system fails. So there are going to be times whereby it finds that this is a solid market demand zone to buy in, and then that demand zone fails. Now, when it fails, it's not going to be trying to average in maybe on mathematical principle of 2% drop or 3% or 5%. It's going to look for market points. So let's say this is where a long happened, which it wouldn't long based on the algorithm. But let's say it longs here. It's not just going to be that, okay, this market dropped 10 or 20%, and then it tries to put average in 3.3. What it's going to do is to find markets demand zone if you are in a long. So let's say this is a demand zone over here. Your first average in first entry is going to be happening around here. Let's say this is the next demand zone. Your next one is going to be happening around here. So it's not just going into based on mathematical principle, but it's noticing what are the demand and supply zone of the market where my entries can be in on averaging to be able to make sure that I'm on the right trend of the market. So all of these adjustments are on the new Wealth Builder strategy. Now, after this video, all you need to do is update your app. If you're going to be watching this video later after we've posted it or not today that this video is made, means you already have this strategy running for you. Now, these are very, very beautiful. Like we've also said, the Wealth Builder also doesn't charge you gas fee until after profits. Now, Doc, as we're talking about Wealth Builder, I opened up my Tafabot app, and it's so unique what you find over there. I'm just going to share that also as we are wrapping up. So if you're looking at my app, when you open the Tafabot app at first, what you're going to see here in the first top performing is the futures neuronet. So over here, after this section, if this user, for example, moves to a 10x leverage, the profit today is 0.97. It's going to imply that he has made 9.7% of his actual capital. Now, this is something very, very interesting. When I switch it to show me users on spot neuronet, doctor, today our spot users are already between 11 to 5% trading altcoins. So this is why it is very, very important to put 50% of this capital on spot and the other capital distributed between neuronet and also world builder, so that at any single point you are never stuck. If one market, one algorithm doesn't is not functioning well because the market has a dynamic change, the other one is running for you, printing money at every single point. Now, doctor, after all of this, I know there's going to be one major question in the hearts of all of our users. Is going to be, what if I have $100? How do I take advantage of this?
Yes, what you want to do basically is to find more capital. But let's say you have $100 that you're trading with, all right? Because why I say find more capital is, well, this is a bull run. You want to get ready for it properly. You want to prepare. The bull run is not something that comes all the time. It comes once in 4 years. You want to prepare for it very well. At the same time, I'm not saying you should go sell everything you have to get into crypto, okay? But I'm just saying that it may be worth to plan and prepare very well for the bull run. But let's say what you have is $100, all right? So what you want to do is to divide your capital into two, all right? See 50% in sports, 50% in futures. However, this is how you're going to do it. You want to have $50 trading on your spot neural net. All right. So when you do that, your spot neural net will divide your capital among different coins and just keep buying and be making for you the kind of profit that you just saw on the screen moments ago. Then the other 50% that is now on the futures, you can use it on the futures neural net. Not because you cannot, but because we recommend BTC only on your futures neural net. And most exchanges adopted Binance change, or they do adopt any update that Binance does. So Binance, in the last couple of months, updated the minimum required capital for trading BTC to around $200, $250, and most exchanges has followed it. Some even made theirs to be way much more than what Binance did. Basically, maybe because of liquidity and all of that. So, if you have $550 on your spots, on your futures, you may not be able to trade your Bitcoin. So you want to put that $50 on your web builder strategy and select the particular coin you're interested in, maybe Solana, like we talked about. Okay, well, let's say you have $200. You may also want to do something similar. But if you have $500, you can begin to experiment with the three different strategies we talked about. Okay, so you want to put $250 on your spot neural net. And then the other $250, maybe you want to put $150 on your futures neural net on BTC only. On the 10x, that's going to be around $8,500. And then or 20x, depending on the level of risk you're interested in taking. But we recommend 10x maximum on BTC. Then on the remaining capital of $100 fixed on your web builder strategy. All right, but if you have $1,000, then you have more capital, 2,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. You then want to do the 50, 25, 25 that we recommended. And like Sam said, when you set up your web builder strategy, we're going to show that on the screen shortly. All right, you're going to see that when you set it up, it will create two bots for you. It will create a long bot and a short bot. All right, because you selected two-way mode. All right. So when it does that for you, remember it is not turned on. You have to turn it on yourself. So you then have to go into those two separate bots and turn them on. That doesn't mean it automatically long and short at the same time. It will study the market using the systems that we just explained to you on the screen, and long for you when it is necessary to long, and short for you when it is necessary to short. So you have an amazing year ahead of you, fans. One of the reasons why we have done this is because, like Sammy, in the previous interview we had when this media company came to the office to interview us. All right, so we're talking about there are strategies that are working just 2 weeks ago that are no longer working right now. In fact, there are strategies that worked 24 hours ago that are no longer working right now because the market is very dynamic, continues to change and all of that. So one of the reasons we have brought out these three combo strategy, we'll call it the bull run strategy. All right. Our bull run strategy is a capital distribution pattern into different trading algorithms, all in your Tafabot app. All right. So why we did that is so that at every point in time, no matter how the market is behaving, there's a capital that is allotted to an algorithm that is working that point in time. We've experimented on this on different capital sizes, small capital and very, very, very humongous capital sizes over several months, seeing how they play out. And that's what we're giving it to you in this formula. So bearing in mind that no matter what happens, when a particular algorithm is not working well, your risk management system is top notch to make sure that you don't ever get to lose your capital or have to worry about liquidation and all of that. So it's amazing. It's an amazing year, Tafans, and I can't just wait for when the profit begins to rally in for everybody when you engage this. Okay, so you want to go immediately after this call, get on your app and set this up. If you're a leader, you have a community. When you get on a Zoom call, you want to play this video for them. Just share your screen, play the video, let them watch, let this be your live presentation. Let people watch this, see everything, then go ahead and advise them and take questions from them. And finally, before I hand to you, Sam, is our support is right now optimized to give you the best of service in this year 2024 and going forward. So our drawdown time on responding and resolving ticket issues right now is aimed at 5 minutes. So if you reach out to us within 5 minutes, we have answered you, we have resolved your concern. So you want to go on the live support app. If you have anything at all that is not clear to you, our technical team is always available to attend to you. So I don't think Tafabot has ever been better than this. This is the sweetest experience, and 2024 is going to be worth it. Yeah.
We're totally fired up. This is the year that you've all been waiting for. This is the year where your profit goes exponentially. This is the year where you get to take all of those vacation, all of those spend time with your kids, your family, and at the same time, you're printing money everywhere, printing money on sports, printing money on futures, every single place. So, Doctor, I'm so excited, and I want all the community to be excited. Like Doctor has said, go meet your team, speak to your leaders. This is the year you don't want to miss. Done with this year, we're going to be gathering in a Tafa convention in whichever city we're going to choose, and we're going to be celebrating all of these amazing improvements. So let's get on it. Go to your app right now, get set up, and start printing money. Happy trading, Tafas.
Happy trading, Tafans, and super time ahead.